I'm here in Medjugorje in front of St. James Church just above me, and I'm with some very beautiful people from Scotland. What's your name?
My name is Norrie.
What's your name?
Carol.
And your name?
My name is Sarah.
Okay, and you have a lot to tell about Medjugorje, especially this young man in the middle. And how often have you been in Medjugorje?
This will be my 9th time now, Tom.
9th time. For you as well?
Number six times.
And for you?
This will be my third.
Wow, cool. And you told me, when did you hear about the first time about Medjugorje? How was that story again?
That story for Medjugorje for me, first time round, was a very special lady who had visited a prayer group after interviewing for a particular radio programme, and felt that her Blessed Mother was speaking to her to say I needed to go to Medjugorje, and this was in 2002. I was very resistant to that. It was just something, I couldn't even spell Medjugorje, far less tell you where Medjugorje was. But she pointed me to a person who was running St Andrew's pilgrimages, which his name is Roger Foster, and he's in Port Glasgow. And Roger's been running St Andrew's pilgrimages since 1994, I believe. So just about 30 years of taking pilgrims to Medjugorje. But for the first time I needed to go to Roger's to fill a form in, because I was told my passage to Medjugorje was already booked and it only needed me to fill my form in. Although I did that, I was still very reluctant to actually going. However, in June 2002 I came here. And
tell also the story when you went into the house of Mr. Roger.
Oh yes, when I visited Roger's house to actually get the form, the thing that shocked me more than anything else was how religious his house was. There were so many pictures, holy pictures and statues in the house, and I just thought at first it was a bit extreme. And when I was in conversation with him to obviously get to know what Medjugorje was about, still he was talking as if Our Blessed Mother was in his presence. That's all I can say. It just the nature and the naturalness of how he said that Our Blessed Mother will take care of everything, and just the fact that he was looking at one or two of the pictures at the same time. He was in direct communication with her, and he just said I was to trust. He gave me away some videos as well on Medjugorje, which was all sort of amateur videos. When I looked at them, I found that they needed to be improved on, and that I made the excuse that was the reason why I was going to Medjugorje, was to do some improvement in some videography work. But I came here and we arrived late on the Wednesday evening, came down to the statue, and all I can say to anyone that's listening is that I know this is a personal experience for me. I know it is true, irrespective to what people may want to say that it could be. I went to the statue, a person had taken me down, he goes into a sort of a thankful, graceful ecstasy of speaking to Our Blessed Mother, but his face was to the ground. I'm standing there thinking this was extremely odd and peculiar, but I looked up at the statue, and all I can say to everyone is that Our Blessed Mother opened her eyes, and the statue, her eyes, she smiled at me. She smiled and her eyes were shining, and they shone into my heart. But I have to say that when I walked away from that experience, was it enough? It wasn't for me, because it got me thinking, but it didn't change me at all. Most people may have thought that with the gospel smiling at you, that would be something for change. It may have been working on me, but it took me 3 days before that change began to happen. I resisted saying the rosary, I resisted going to the church here at St James's. Each morning I would come and sit down at the wall outside, wait for the group to come out, and then we would go for coffee. But on the third day, on the Saturday, we came and we went up to Podbridle.
That's Apparition Hill?
In Apparition Hill. And again I resisted going up, went up, stood at the statue at Apparition Hill. Still nothing had happened to me, but walking away from the statue at Apparition Hill, all of a sudden, from nowhere, I started to feel a tingling all over my body. I started to feel a change starting to take place within me, but before I knew it, it was as if there was this purification going right through the marrow of my bones. I could feel it very much interiorly, and all I can say, it felt, for what I know, it was the Holy Spirit cleansing me, taking away my sinfulness, purifying me and making me new. because before that moment onwards, all I could do was pray, get a set of rosaries, and the first thing I made sure I did is I came off Apparition Hill, I went to confession. And when I went to confession, I was surprised to see how many priests were actually at round about St James's, listening to confessions from different nationalities. But the striking part of the whole process of that was the reconciliation that took place. I had a personal encounter with Christ through the priest. When I left the priest, I felt pure, I felt clean. Did it take away all the troubles and strife? No, but it gave me a new attitude towards it. And it was that new attitude that changed me from the life that I had before to the life that I was given in Medjugorje. That was 20 years ago, and today I've experienced so many different changes to the point whereby through Medjugorje I met my wonderful wife.
You have to tell how that was. I like that. How did you meet actually, you two? Where did you meet again?
Well, after Medjugorje, I had I did a video. It's called Ordinary People, Extraordinary Experiences. It was all about basically the experiences here in Medjugorje. It was also to do with Roger Foster, to try and assist Roger with his ministry as well, about bringing people to Medjugorje. So part of that was that I was going around different prayer groups, trying to bring an interest and attention to Medjugorje and for people to sort of sign up for coming over. And then during that time, Carol was at a prayer group that I had visited, and from there we just got talking, and from there we got an interest with each other.
And
so
you have to tell me the secret how to get to the marriage. You go to a prayer meeting. No?
Yeah. Yes.
Take the girl out to a prayer meeting.
Yeah, sad as it may seem is that after a few weeks of going to the same prayer group with Carol, I had enough courage to strike up to ask her out, and by doing so, we met that night and we said, what will we do? And this, it just so happened it was a Thursday night, and I said to her, where would you like
something romantic?
Where would you like to go? And it just so happened we looked at each other and went, well, we like going to a prayer group, why don't we do that? And again, it may seem strange, it may seem odd, but I can assure you, for us both, we were comfortable with that. And I do recall that night whereby we were in prayer, we were in praise, we were in thanksgiving, and we seemed buoyed up in the spirit as well, and it felt good in that respect. And that's how our relationship grew, first and foremost. And then in 2004, because I'd been saying so much about Medjugorje, how it changed my life, I was trying to encourage Carol to go over.
Wow. Yeah.
Carol went over in 2004.